Stranger Things. Listen, I'm a fan of this show. I think it's quite enjoyable. I think it's well produced, the story is compelling, the characters are likable. It's a good time. But I don't really understand why certain people worship this show. You know what I mean? I don't really understand why people worship any piece of media, to be honest, or, any piece of entertainment, or, things of that nature. But I mean, there are certain people who are like, yo, you gotta watch Stranger Things. Season 3 came out 1 whole hour ago. How have you not finished it already? You guys hearing this garbage? Listen to this. What kind of garbage? I'm trying to make a YouTube video, and dude, it's just gotta rain. It's gotta rain. Are you kidding me, dude? You guys might not even be able to hear it that well, but listen, I know it's there, and I'm not a fan of it. You know what? I don't even care. I'm gonna carry on recording this here audio. But anyway, it's relax. The show's good. Better than most, I would say. Honestly, I think it's S tier, but listen, stop. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. But anyway, Stranger Things Season 3 dropped on the 4th of July, and it's pretty cool. I thoroughly enjoyed this season of Stranger Things. That's not really anything new. I mean, in my opinion, all of the seasons are just swell. And this season isn't any different. Hey, by the way, there are gonna be spoilers for, this season of Stranger Things in this video, so, I mean, I felt... Sorry, I had to inhale really quick, but I felt that it was, important that I let you guys know about that, because I mean, come on, you gotta be careful out there. But anyway, I'm gonna continue with this video now, but now that you guys know that, you should probably react accordingly. I will say this though, this season gets off to a pretty slow start, but you honestly don't even really notice it that much. I think it's because of the characters. The characters in this show are pretty great, so even when the show is going slow or not much is really happening, it's still enjoyable because the characters don't suck. Listen, a show can have an incredible story, but if the characters are garbage and I don't like having them on screen, it's kind of a problem. But this show doesn't have that problem. I'm always down to watch a conversation between Steve and Dustin because there is a 98.49% likelihood that it will be funny or enjoyable in one way or another. By the way, I'm a big fan of Steve and Dustin. Watching them interact is just fantastic. 11 no longer sucks. Some of you might be wondering what I mean when I say that, and I'm happy to explain it to you. 11 is now actually becoming a character that's kind of enjoyable to have on screen for an extended period of time. She can actually sort of form sentences now. She knows how to use her vocal cords for something other than screaming. She screams a lot in this show, by the way. I don't know if you guys have ever really noticed, but 11 screams all the time. But now 11 can actually kind of use words now, which I mean, as an avid word user myself, I appreciate. Also, Robin, the new character that works with Steve, big fan. The friendship that Steve and Robin have is just, it's fun to watch, especially when they're on drugs. Not really anything else to add. But guys, listen, big news. Will finally gets a break this season. Let's go! He doesn't go missing, he doesn't get possessed, or any of that meme. I mean, yeah, he needs to fight a monster made out of melted people, but that's no big deal. By the way, that giant monster, thing, what the fuck? This thing blows up rats, or melts people, depending on its mood, and then just absorbs them. Alright, that's pretty sick. Glad to see this season is taking a more logical approach to, things. Man, that thing seems to be quite strange. Some might even consider it to be stranger than most things. Yo, this is a Stranger Thing. Haha. Please, someone waterboard me. But it's really amazing how this show can make me take that seriously. How did they do that? That's honestly incredible. Top notch. Moving on. Evil Russians. I was confused about this storyline at first. After the first episode, I just started coming up with all these theories, you know what I mean? Okay, so the music in the video is the same as the music in the mall, so maybe these Russians are actually in the Upside Down. They've somehow managed to survive whatever happened there. Breath. Now they're trying to open the gate again so they can get back to this world. No, the lab is just, it's under the mall. That really made me, question my intelligence, but I mean, it's fine. I really liked that storyline, and I liked how those two storylines kind of came together, and they were sort of connected during the last episode. The boyos are fighting this thing, meanwhile Joyce, Hopper, and Murray are trying to turn this epic gamer machine off. Once they turn this epic gamer machine off, this monster thing gets yeeted. Boom. Dead. Easy money. This whole thing didn't really end up working out too well for Billy or Hopper. Billy was pretty expected, to be honest. Like, I wasn't 100% sure if he was gonna die, but I was like, you know, he might die though. So when it happened, I wasn't too surprised. Like, I didn't really expect his death, but I didn't really, like, not expect his death. I don't really think that makes any sense at all, but it makes sense in my brain, and that's all that matters. But Hopper, though, I didn't expect that one bit. Out of all the things I expected, that was on, like, the bottom, like, tier. Boy, I am on fire with explanations today, dude. But I mean, his death was kind of a tearjerker. Same with his voiceover at the end of the season when he was reading the speech that he wrote for Mike and Eleven. Listen, I didn't cry, but there were some close calls, man. It was rough. But his death was very unexpected. I mean, now I'm kind of convinced that he's not dead because of this whole thing with the mid-credit scene, the fact that we didn't actually, like, see him die and, like, you know, some other stuff. If you really want to see someone, like, go in depth and explain it, just find another YouTube video about it. I would go in depth and explain it, but I mean, I don't want to do that right now. But anyway, yeah, there's a mid-credit scene at the end of the last episode. It's an awful lot of fun. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend going and, you know, seeing it. This dude gets fed to a Demogorgon. There's some evidence that Hopper is still alive. Not really in that order, but those two things do, in fact, occur during that scene. And I almost forgot. Alexei. I feel so bad for Smirnoff, dude. He was just trying to hang out, get some slushies, you know, watch some cartoons, maybe enjoy the fair. And it didn't work out. Poor guy. I would have gladly traded Billy for Smirnoff. Let us have a moment of silence for our fallen epic gamer. Alright, cool. Let me just talk about the visual effects in this show really quick. This isn't exclusive to Season 3, but I mean, it applies to Season 3. The visual effects in this show are incredible. They literally look real. Even the dumbest stuff including things like a giant monster made out of melted people, even stuff like that looks incredible. The gate that Eleven closed in Season 2 looks real. The Demogorgons look real. The shadow monster, like, mind flare thing, that looks real. Like, dude, it just... The visual effects in this show are better than most, like, high-budget movies. Sorry, I just had to gush about that for a second because, I mean, they look cool. But I really enjoyed this season. I thought it was well structured. I mean, it got off to a slow start, but I mean, once it picked up, I really couldn't stop watching it. And that was one last thing I wanted to mention. This is one of the very few shows that I don't have to push myself to get through, like, at all. Like, even shows that are amazing like Daredevil, they're still bound to have some slow episodes. And that's fine, but obviously they're not going to be as entertaining as an episode that, you know, isn't slow. With this show, even if there is a slow episode, I still find it very enjoyable, and again, I think that's because basically all of the characters are extremely likable, or entertaining in some other way. This show is just great, man. Like, the story is interesting, the characters are great, and I really like how this show doesn't really feel like they stretched the story out at all. A lot of the Marvel Netflix shows do that. They need to stretch the story out to 13 episodes when it could have worked better as like 10. This show doesn't feel like that. This season is 8 episodes, and it feels like it should be 8 episodes. But anyway, Stranger Things Season 3. Good. 10 out of 10. Would watch again just for Steve Harrington. But let me know what you guys think of this season down in the comments. I would like to hear your thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like. If you didn't, make sure to leave a dislike, jump off a bridge, whatever suits you. My name's Whitefire, and I'll see you on the flip side.